This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Weapon H All-in-One Podcast, Wednesday's edition, with your hosts Herman and Tonya. Tonya and Herman, you know, at least that way she can get that out of the way. Today we're going to touch on a subject that some people can relate to. If you're over 50, you can probably relate to this. So even if you're not over 50,
not for the weak.
Yeah, and even if you're not over 50, you can still kind of take interest in it because at some point you will have to do it. So what we're talking about is a colonoscopy.
And this is my second one. The first one was 4 years ago. This is the second one. And my handsome co-host has come in to assist me with the prep. Well, no, not the prep.
Well, the prep, yes.
Not the prep.
I'm prepping the drinks, then I get out the way.
Yeah, so I have to drink this every 15 minutes.
So she'll be sipping on that. And if you don't know what a colonoscopy is, it's it's a test that checks for colon cancers.
Procedures,
and it
not
screens.
really a test.
Well, yeah, well,
screening.
It's a screening, for any issues with the colon cancers or any other issues.
And what's the rate of black people succumbing to colon cancer because they're not getting their preventative checks? There's a high rate of black people that don't get their colonoscopies. He's looking that up right now. African Americans have a higher chance of succumbing to colon cancer because of them not getting the necessary checks at 50. But now I understand it's starting at 45.
Yeah, I heard that as well. And it's the numbers is like 18% of African Americans are less likely to receive or to get a colonoscopy. And the reason being that, well, that's part of the reason why it's not detected in black Americans more often, but the reason why black Americans tend to have a higher rate of colon cancer is, bottom line, is your diet. So, it's the way we eat, and then, they're not getting
fatty
checked.
Foods,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're not getting checked, so
this is my second time at 54, and I have to drink Gatorade with some Miralax. It's a procedure. It's a whole thing that you have to do for the prep. And people will say the prep is worse than actual procedure because I'm looking forward to that sleep tomorrow. But today, not so good. Stomach is cramping and growling.
Oh my God. I'm not going. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming into town to assist me.
I'm not even talking about that. But first, we're going to walk you through the prep concept. First, it's going to be like a week. You have a week where you can't eat certain things like no popcorn and things of that nature. So you have 1 week to start the early prep, which isn't too major, but you just got to watch what you eat. But then the day before, the 24 hours is when it really gets
tricky.
Yeah, because one, nothing with any color in it, so everything has to be light. You can't eat anything, so you're on a liquid diet the whole day. So
I'm very hungry and weak, and I'm a slip of a thing already, so I don't have any chance of trying to lose any weight. So I'm very, very hungry.
It really is just 24 hours, so she's not going to really lose much weight. She's just hungry. And here's the thing, though. She talks about how hungry she is, and then when she's not, because right now she's forced to do it, but when she's not, she'll go through the whole day, have time not eating anyway sometimes. That's
I forgot. That's not entirely true. I don't say I forgot to eat.
Please.
I don't say that.
Oh, you didn't want to?
No, I mean, I'm busy. I'm a mother and, so I'm running all over the place.
Okay.
But I eat fruit, but I may not have a full meal.
Right.
I didn't get anything today. Nothing.
Whose fault was that?
I'm getting a colonoscopy. I couldn't eat.
But no, it's 24 hours. You didn't, you started too early. Oh. So that's why you're hungry.
Well, I don't want no problems on that surgery table. None.
Well, see,
I don't want them to wake me up.
Most people think it's the prep.
It is the prep.
I would say with women, but I don't know. With me, it's a little different because I got a whole set of issues with going to sleep and somebody putting something in my butt. That's just what it is with me. There's going to be no sugarcoating. Turn you on your side, they put me to sleep. I don't tell them what the hell they do.
I don't think they do that.
I don't think they do that.
I don't even remember. But I remember the sleep was good.
I don't remember. That sounds like some Bill Cosby stuff. I don't remember nothing. I just woke up. See what I'm saying? I woke up and I felt better. I don't know. I felt a little different. But I mean, no, I get it. It is something. I'm joking around with it. And that's my own little personal stuff. But I mean, it does have to be done. So.
Yes. So if you haven't gotten a colonoscopy and you're over 45, please check with your general practitioner. This is a PSA announcement for you. And if you have a history of colon cancer in your family, please go to the doctor sooner than 45.
And if you have a problem with getting stuff stuck up your butt, consult a psychologist, a therapist, or something before going in.
Oh my gosh, it's not that bad. You don't even feel it.
Because you sleep. Because
You're sleeping.
Right. How you feel when you wake up?
So I have to drink Gatorade with Miralax. That's what it is, right? The powder stuff. And I had to take Ducalax. That's like crazy.
Yeah, that's the name. Ducalax for Duking, huh? So yeah, you take those.
I have to drink 4 of these by midnight.
No, you got to finish that off.
Right, before midnight.
Yeah, but if you have to, however, it's 64 ounces. So however you do it every 15 minutes, she has to drink 8 ounces every 10 to 15 minutes. So however long it takes.
And I have the captain here, the drill sergeant, make sure I get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, we gotta do what we have to do sometimes. Just make sure, I just told her to make sure where we lay, make sure we laying close enough to the bathroom, so in case you gotta roll out. I might be sleeping on that side of the bed, then you can have it this time, just so you can roll on out go to the bathroom. I'll make sure the toilet seat is down for this one.
Is this a lot for are we newly,
this is actually,
is this considered newly dating?
This is the test.
This is the test.
This is the test, because, boy, you can put up with it, any day. That's what they say. You're legit at that point. But
thank you.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I appreciate you flying in to take care of me.
With your little nasty ass, but we good.
All right. Anyway,
but I'm I like to make light of a lot of stuff, just to kind of get us through. But I mean, it is something that needs to be done, and I'm there for support, and we're gonna make sure we get this done. But there's gonna be some jokes. Just hopefully she don't have
hopefully this
accidents.
Is seamless, and I don't have any accidents.
Yeah, we have accidents. It's
gonna
be about
so
3
much
or 4
liquid,
episodes.
so much laxative, poop just falls out your butt.
And listen, I know that
it
probably
sounds disgusting,
nice, but it is.
And by the time you're done, it's just liquid.
Listen, if we have any accidents, you're gonna hear about this on every episode.
He will not find out about any accidents.
Yeah, yes, I would.
No,
because I'll be sleeping so light today. I'll be for every movement, because making sure she ain't rolling over me.
You are the worst. You are the worst. Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
I'm there for you. I'm there for you.
Thank you. So, my daughter said, and this is unrelated to my colonoscopy because I think we're done with that.
We're done. Yeah, that was just something we just had to start off with real quick with this.
She said, this guy's been calling her and she hasn't returned his call. And I said, well, how did he get your number? She said, I gave it to him. I said, so you don't return his call or just say, I'm not interested? She said, no. I gave him my number. I don't feel like talking. I said, well, why did you give him your number? Because he asked for it. I said, that's rude. And maybe my 20-something-year-old self would have done something like that. But she said, ask her what he said. She goes, oh, never mind. He's going to side with the guy. So my question to you, have you ever exchanged numbers with a woman and then she called you and you never answered?
Put it like this. Not the first time. No, not the first time. Like if I gave the number at that time, I was kind of interested.
She has no intentions of ever returning this man's call.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if I didn't have any intentions, then I wouldn't have given him my number. I mean, that's just plain and simple. But sometimes you might give a number because it's an initial interest, and then you talk, and you be like, nah, I'm good. And then they may continue to call, and I may ignore, but I will say, look, I'm just not interested. Then if you keep calling, then I'm just going to ignore it.
All right. So has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
You mean you've called the woman after she gave it to you and she never...
Oh, you mean on the opposite end of me calling? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I don't remember. Let me see. Let me think about that. Yeah, it's happened. Yeah, it happens.
Did you ever wonder what happened?
No. But see, I only do it about twice. Like maybe I would call one time, call second time. No more than three. Three is the. Well, I don't even get to three really. But just say I might do three. Now it's mostly just 2 times. 2 times hit from me, then I'm good. I don't really think none of it though. I don't really get bent down.
Well, she was sharing this story, and she said, "This man just needs to stop calling me." And I said, "Well, what'd you give him your number for if you had no intentions of ever conversing with him?"
Or how about this? Just if you don't want to talk to him, just text him. Like, look,
I said that too. I said, "I'm not interested." She said, "I'm not doing all that." I thought that was so rude. And she said, "I said that's not a way to treat people."
Well, she spent more energy telling you about it than she could have texted. That would have been over in like 2 seconds. Then after that, then
Well, I hope he doesn't call back again because my feelings are hurt for him. When she said I'm making too much of it. That's what she said.
I'm not gonna feel for him because shit. You keep calling, and I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, I'm not gonna keep calling somebody that's not answering my calls. That doesn't make sense. That alone, that's a red flag right there. You gonna keep calling? You call me 5 times, and I'm calling somebody, you don't answer. I'm not gonna. That's a red flag. That let me a little bit. So she might be dodging the bullet.
Again. She may see him again. So I thought that was.
Well, that's why I say
you don't treat
them.
people. You treat people how you want to be treated.
I get that.
And you don't treat people like that because that's a trickle effect. That will trickle down to something happening to you.
True, because you'll get that same thing with somebody you like.
Right.
But my thing is, like I said, just
I may not even like them, but you don't treat people like that.
Right.
And I believe in how you treat others
is how you get treated when the time is right.
You should treat others how you want to be treated.
Period. Real simple.
Right.
But most people don't do that. The vast majority of the time, most people don't do that because they don't think like that.
Do you think it's a generation thing, or I mean,
No.
I honestly believe that I probably back in the day probably wasn't very nice sometimes, but as I've gotten older, I treat people differently. I feel kinder.
Yeah, and also we read a lot. We read a lot of consciousness books.
Right.
We meditate. We do a lot of things that kind of teach you to, have that calm sense, that be more expressive, be more honest with people, be more open and minded. So that way, because you want, the more positive you push out, the more you're surrounded by what comes back. That right. Whole
spread
boomerang
consciousness.
Effect. Yeah, that
spread
whole
love.
Boomerang effect.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't make really sense because if you spread a bunch of negative, that's what you're going to be around your whole life. That's what it's going to be.
So I feel like that's what's happening to her and maybe several of young people in that age 25 to 30 that they're not getting what they want in dating because they're not giving out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you hear, you sit back and you see all these people that these women and men have all these demands of my person I meet. They got to be this, and got to be that, and got to be this, and be that. They'll name about 10 things, and then you sit there and ask them, out of those 10 things, how many are you? And 2, 3. So how do you expect to get 10 if you're only doing about 2 or 3 of them things? You have to be doing that same thing. You have to be able to attract what you're putting out. We go back to the law of attraction.
Right.
You attract what you put out. If you're putting out negative, that's what's going to come back to you. Put out positive, that's what comes back. And it's not always easy because life situations can, but bottom line, especially how you treat people, you can always do that. Now, if they shoot negative at you, you can slide on away, push them away.
Right.
Because I know, and like I said, it's a learning curve for it.
So then it is, as you get older, you understand that, and no matter how I try to teach my kids how you treat people and the ripple effect, they're just not going to get it? Or are there some kids or some younger generation that do understand it?
One thing I will say about this generation that I've noticed, that they are a little bit more in tune with the consciousness. They call it woke, all this other mess, but they're a little bit more in tune with certain things, but they also are, how do you want to say it? They understand, they know what it is, but they don't fully understand it. They know bits and pieces of it, and they don't apply it at all times. And I would say they a little bit ahead of us in certain things, but as far as, but I hate to say it, but as far as common sense, sometimes they're a little bit behind. Because I see certain things, I'm just like, even at that age, that's just something I would never think about doing. But as far as going back to,
well, I think that's how you grow up, also.
Yeah, you do. But some people never grow up. You know, we run across some 40 and 50s that act worse than 20-year-olds. So it's really just about you, and when you taking the things that do happen, take them all as lessons. Mm-hmm. And even if it's a perceived failure, you got to take that as a lesson, right, regardless of how it goes.
Absolutely.
Now, all right, this is what happened. This was a bad situation. It didn't happen the way I wanted it to. What can I do to prevent it from happening again?
Right. Put the onus on you. I think many people are pointing fingers, not understanding.
No responsibility.
No. You feel real passionate about that, huh?
None. I sit up there and see some of the stuff that I'm just like, did I just see the same thing? Now you walking down the street, and you got this thing, a little black thing walking down the street. Man, that thing was white. And I'm saying, huh? So it's like people's perception is just totally different. We all looking at the same thing and see something totally different.
But everyone's going to have a perception, their own perception.
Absolutely.
But it's when they try to tell you that you're wrong because their perception is right. Isn't that something?
And a lot of stuff that's argued about, a lot of times no one really knows the answer to it. It's just that you feel in your beliefs, in your belief system, what you learn that is true, but you have to be able to question your own belief system if you really want to get the true answer to things.
You done scooted off on something else.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to leave that for another day, but I'm just going to leave that little nugget right there. But yeah, you have to be able to question it. But anyway, we're going to go back.
Let me hear you talk. I like that.
We're going to go back to the responsibility thing. You got to be responsible for your actions, the things you do, especially in these relationships. Like every time, like when I'm talking to somebody and I'm meeting somebody, we going on a date, and you know, you're always going to end up talking about a past relationship.
And you should.
Right. Because you
learn things. Not bashing.
But you just learn things.
You're learning things, right.
But
many women don't want to hear that.
Well,
right? Many women don't want to hear.
It depends on what is talked about.
Oh, they don't want to hear about the sex, though.
Nah, they don't want to hear how it's, No, I don't think too many want to hear about what I was doing. So, but
take a sip of my drink right now.
Take the voodoo juice. Yeah, take a sip of the voodoo juice. But they and when you're having that conversation, and what I listen to when we're talking about exes, if I talk to someone and every situation or every past relationship they had was the guy this, the guy that, somebody did this, somebody, and all of them, none of them were your fault, I'm running.
That's like a job interview when the job is asking you why you're leaving your last job and you're bad mouthing the last job. You don't do that.
Yeah, and not even so much as bad. Even if but the situation. Even if you say, well, he was good, but such and such, but he just this, he just that. Even if it's not so much as a bad situation, but you're still placing the onus solely on the other person. I'm running for the hills because I already know she can't take responsibility for anything, because I know in a lot of my stuff, and I say this all the time.
So have you gone back and said, when they're doing this, have you said, so what
part did you play in that? Right. Every time.
Oh, you do?
Every time.
Oh.
Every time. So what, you didn't play any part in none of your breakups?
Demise of the relationships. Yeah. And what do they say?
A lot of them like, no. Oh. I'm like, none? Was you? Oh, well, maybe. And it'd be something so minuscule, be like, okay, so you're just really not going to be honest about this. Because I know, and you can attest to that, I vast majority of them was my fault.
I say that.
Oh, I can say that. Vast majority of them was my fault, because
From what you told me, it doesn't sound like it. Just sounds like,
Only one I kind of.
We don't have to.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go into that, but it's just the one. Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's only one situation where I would kind of say it was, it was that person, but vast majority.
Just one. Everything else has been.
They played parts in it. It wasn't just all me, but I would be mostly the catalyst for the most part. I would say, yeah, I would say about 80%, 75 to 80% of the time it was probably me.
I would probably say the same with me in my relationships. I've been called difficult more times than not.
Okay.
Am I difficult?
Not to me.
Well, I think I have a tendency to be difficult. And right now I kind of like back off. I un-Tonya everything because Tonya can be real strong-willed. So I kind of massage it, and as you get older, you understand that you can massage out a little bit and then turn into something positive. Because I know I can be fiery.
And sometimes you can be fiery to certain people. Certain people are just not going to tolerate that, and you tend not to do it because it kind of, you get fiery. Sometimes you sit up there like, why am I fiery? And this person just sitting up here like, yeah, and you
I got fiery in the car today, and you said like this.
Yeah.
I mean, that
and
wasn't
then
necessary.
and then guess what happened?
What?
It was a smooth ride the rest of the way.
but when you're driving, you know,
that's when it goes down. Not when you're driving. You know, that ride is always quiet. I just chill out.
I'm gonna have to start filming you.
Oh, absolutely. That's gonna be the best. Yeah, you're right.
Don't really
we're gonna film both people. We're gonna let the audience.
I'm gonna film
when he's
driving because you'll say in a second, "That Jack." Don't you say that?
But that's to other people.
Right, but that's what I was doing today. It wasn't to you. It was somebody else. And you said,
left turn. Wait up here. Right here. The GPS loud and clear. They said make a left turn. Make a left right here. I'm like, okay. I mean, two people can do it. It's okay. I have a problem here. Both of y'all speak. Just one half to the other. Just don't do it at the same time.
You have the patience of a saint.
Yeah, you know.
You do.
I appreciate it.
You really do. I mean, I know.
That's one thing. Another thing I would say I definitely appreciate and liked about you is that you're very appreciative. Like I that was, as you know, something I spoke about. It just, a lot of times most people aren't appreciative of little things. If like a big thing, sure, but it's like those little things.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of little things that I'm appreciative with you. You flew up here to take me to this, and I appreciate that you made it. It was a big thing, but I could have had my son take me to my procedure, but you made it a point to come up here, and you just left. But you wanted to be here to make sure that I'm okay. So there's so many little things, and you really are patient. So I really do appreciate that. And, I think you really bring out the best in me. I don't think, I know.
Well, that's a thing that I think we both have for each other, and I guess that's why it works.
Right.
The way it's been working. So, and we ain't even talk about other stuff, so.
What other stuff?
Don't worry about that. That's for another topic, for another day. So, again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Weapon H All-in-One Podcast Wednesday edition with Herman and Tonya. And Tonya and Herman. Oh, boy. We are about to sign off. Before I start rolling, because I might let her leave and I'll talk about it after she leaves. But no, thanks again, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Hit those like buttons. Hit those notifications so you can get updated and
you can find us on Spotify and YouTube
and Apple Podcasts, as well as Amazon Podcasts. And also follow our Instagrams, Weapon H Fitness Coaching. Which one for you?
Oh, I don't remember that right now. But let's ask them. We're going to do a poll to see how many of you have had a colonoscopy.
Absolutely. So make sure you guys check in on the polls and continue to comment on each, what some things you like, some things you didn't like, and answer and be active in those polls. Until next time, appreciate you guys. See you again soon.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying.